Dave Pelz has been the technical consultant and short game expert at Golf Magazine since 1982. Now, in that time, he's written many groundbreaking articles on the short game and putting, but never has he produced anything quite as fascinating as what you're about to see. Through his work with countless PGA, LPGA, and club professionals, plus his always full short game schools, Pelz has what amounts to a living laboratory of what works and what doesn't in the short game and putting. Now, not too long ago, he found something strange in the technique of both pros and amateurs when it came to putting. It seems that all of us are missing our breaking putts in the same way, well below the hole. Now, being the scientist that he is, Dave developed a series of tests to determine whether the mistake is the result of a bad read or a bad stroke. And what he found is absolutely incredible. It has the potential to impact every golfer, both today and tomorrow. So here, to share his discovery with you, is the man himself, Dave Pelz.
Welcome to the Dave Pelz Short Game Center. This is the facility that I teach my short game schools on. I built it here at the beautiful Boca Raton Resort and Club to teach golfers everything they need to know, everything you need to learn inside of 100 yards. But today I want to talk to you about something that's really unbelievable. It's incredible. In fact, Golf Magazine thinks it's so amazing that they put it on the cover, the amazing truth about putting. Now, you know putting is 43% of the game of golf. It really affects your score, your handicap, the kind of player that you are. And I believe there's something about your putting that you're doing wrong. I know that Jack Nicklaus and Fred Couples, I know myself, and I believe you are doing it wrong. I believe every golfer since the start of golf has been making a mistake. Now, we're talking about 450 years of golf. We've all been doing it wrong, and I want to prove it to you today and show you how to start doing it right. We are going to change the way you look at greens for the rest of your golf career. What's so amazing is that you and I, we've all been reading our breaking putts incorrectly. Now, I want you to understand, almost all putts in golf break. They don't break this much. I'm demonstrating here a very large breaking putt. It's a real sweeper. But in misreading this putt, it affects the way I stroke the ball. And it even affects me, and I can prove this, so strongly that it messes up my straight putt stroke. All greens are sloping greens. Architects build them that way. They have to drain the water off. So 98% of our putts are breaking. And to prove all of these points to you, I've asked 4 golfers, 4 amateur players, to be with us today to let me show them, to prove to them that they're under-reading putts. As I take them through this, I hope you will see that the same thing has been happening to all of us. Now, the procedure here is very simple. I want you to read the putt and tell me how much break you're going to play. While you're putting, I'm going to be looking at your stroke mechanics. I want you to have your eyes over the target line. I want you to have your hands under your shoulders. I want you to set up, as we've been talking about, as best you can to make the simplest stroke you can make. I want the distance that you're reading for the break to be the distance that the starting line of this putt misses this hole as it runs by it. That starting line runs forever. It's a direction. And if you think you have to aim that putt here to make this hole, then I would say you're playing a 6-foot break. Does everybody understand break? Now, that's the starting line, which we call the aim line. It's the line that you're starting your putt on, but it has an assumption in it. How fast you're going to roll it. If I hit this ball unbelievably hard, unbelievably fast, I'm not going to play any break. I mean, if I fly it to the hole, you don't care what the ground slopes like. There is a speed which will optimize your chance of making this putt. If you roll a ball at a speed through the lumpy donut, through the footprints, so that it goes 17 inches behind the hole, that's how far I want you to assume you're going to roll this putt past if you miss it. Now, rolling at that speed, I want you to give me the break. Okay?
I think it breaks 6 inches.
I think it breaks 6 inches.
I think it breaks 8 inches.
I think it breaks 18 inches.
For the first time, we have a scientifically designed instrument that can control the speed and the starting direction of putts. Call this the true roller. I developed it recently simply to be able to control putts on greens so that we can really find out what's happening. The ball rolls wherever this ramp is aimed. That's close. Oh. I'm going to get one to go in that hole. Oh. Got it. Boom. Okay, now we get the aim line and we put it up. We've got the speed, we've got the direction. Now I align the aim line with the true roller. I verify that it's exactly in line. Then, to know the exact break, I simply measure it. It's 34 inches.
When David told me how far off I was on reading, say, a 10-footer, I didn't believe him. I thought, there's no way, because I've done this so many times. But he proved it to me with his true roller system, and he showed it to me, hard evidence, black and white. And needless to say, I was humbled.
My aiming was off to the right, which I didn't know at the time, but it's been a lot of hard work, and now I've moved my aim all the way around to, you know, almost right on the money every time. And I just feel like when I'm putting now, I have some specific things to work on, and we've proven to one another that when I aim well, I usually putt well.
You all read that putt this morning, and now I want Larry to just walk back and look at that break. Stand behind the hole where you kind of primarily made your read this morning. You were back there, and show me if you can imagine that line. I always want you to walk from behind the hole back to the ball below the line. Never walk above, because that's where you're putting. You don't want fresh footprints up there. Now, can you imagine starting the ball on that line, Larry? I mean, you just saw the true roller do it.
Yeah.
Can you make your mind imagine that? I want you three to notice where Larry's standing. Larry is standing on an extension of the aim line, trying to imagine the ball rolling there. This is not where he stood when he read the putt. He stood over here when he read the putt this morning. Now crouch down. From here, that line looks absurd from down there. Can you even imagine the ball starting there now? I mean, it's just not even close. Every shot in golf, people walk to their ball on the line they're going to start it, except putting. When you putted this putt this morning, you walked to the hole on this line, and then you turned your bodies around. Your subconscious said, whoa, Joe, no way. Let's get you aimed over here. And you all aimed up that hill pretty well. Then you've compensated all the way. What you should have done is come over here and imagine the line you can start on. Your mind's eye has to say, I can make that putt if I start it there. Then walk along that line. This is the aim line. And I want you from now on to start your putts from behind the aim line and then walk to it that way. Now just walk up there and putt along that line. Just swing along it. Okay, now just putt along that line. Now you push that a little bit and hit it a little bit soft. Now I'd like to add another aim line. If I take this distance and divide it by 4, that's where most people aim their putt. They say they're going to play this break. Now I want you to aim down that line and try to make one. Yeah, that's the 25%. That's where you told me you were going to aim this putt. Okay, well, you obviously have no chance, so you'd never do that. Now, I want you to stand there, aim down that first line, and putt it down that other line.
Try and make it.
You see, you can do it, but what happens is your subconscious fires it because it knows you're not playing enough break. It's compensating. It's a difficult move. My whole point is, if you would learn to aim at the proper amount, putting becomes fairly easy. It's just as easy as a straight-in putt. One of the important things about this video, about the Golf Magazine article, is that it's all based on research. I started in my schools measuring what everybody estimated the break to be. I then realized, once I watched them putt, that they weren't aiming anywhere near where they told me. I have data from over 1,000 amateurs, over 300 PGA club professionals, and over 50 PGA, LPGA, and European Tour players. I have measured what they say, their initial conscious reads. I've measured where they line up and address their putters. Then I've measured where they start their balls. Out of those 1,350 golfers that I've measured definitively, they've all done the same thing. All the golfers are in denial about their own green reading. I've never had a person overread a green yet. Not one person in all this group, all these data samples, has overread. The most surprising thing to the golfers themselves is the magnitude of the underread. Golfers don't see the 34 inches. Golfers are telling themselves this putt only breaks 6, 8, 10 inches, 25% of the 34. That's what golfers read. That's what they believe. Now, their subconscious doesn't believe it. When they set up to this putt, they're going to set up to 65% of the break. That's an average. Some people do a little more, some people do a little less. But when they actually stroke it, they have in-stroke corrections. They push or pull to about 80, 85, sometimes even 90% of the break. Sometimes they hit it a little hard, just so they have a chance of making it. That's all subconscious control. Those are all compensations. The longer you've played and the better a player you are, the more ingrained these habits are. I want you to get up to 34 inches. I want you to get to the reality line so you can putt better with your straight stroke. Now, Deborah Spain, the golf professionals on my teaching staff in our short game schools, is going to demonstrate what actually happens when a golfer approaches a putt. She has underread the break by about 75%. She's aiming, verbalized at least, the aim to 25%, but her body, her stroke, her putter are in actuality aimed along the line as shown at about 65% of the real break. She then makes a compensating stroke, cutting across the ball slightly and closing the face enough to pull the ball up to about 85 to 90% of the true break. However, as you can see, most of the putts still miss low. She'll occasionally make one from this position, but it requires an entirely unique and different compensation on every different putt on the golf course. It's a tough way to putt, not nearly as successful as if she had played the right break in the first place and can use a simple, non-compensating stroke. When we add the real aim line, the 100% of the actual break, the reality situation, Deborah can now, with a non-compensating straight stroke, roll it along the aim line and make these putts much more easily. Steve Elkington, when faced with this situation, 10 times around the putting green over and over again, improved his make percentage from 15% to 55%. Obviously, you still have to hit the ball the right speed. You'll never make all your breaking putts. But when you stand on the real aim line, putting becomes a lot easier. Now I want you to see what this looks like from the other side on a right to left putt. Steve Underhill, another of my short game school instructors, is going to demonstrate how it looks when you address your body down the 65% aim line, then push it to maybe 80-85%. Unlike Deborah, if he cuts across this and pulls it, he has no chance. Steve must push it. He's got to take his putter inside out. He's got to open the blade a little bit at impact. He must push the ball another 25 or 30% above the aim line if he's going to have a chance to make it. Sometimes they get disgusted at missing a lot of putts left or low, and they drill it past, but it goes too far by. It minimizes their chance of holding the putt. When we add the gold line now along the reality break line, that's the aim line. That's 100% of the real break. Now it's easier for Steve to make these putts. All he has to do is start the ball on the real aim line at the proper speed. It's going to either go in or just scare it to death every time. It's a much easier putt to make. No compensations, no pulling, no pushing, no inside-outside stroke, and no face angle variations. Of course, he'll never make all these putts. This is a tough breaking putt. It's a speed putt, but the percentages are a lot better. Now I've brought you over to a straight putt. We've seen what happens with the push stroke on right to left and the pull stroke on left to right. What does your subconscious now think if you're faced with a straight putt? Remember, the only straight putts you get on the golf course, they're not very frequent, are the straight uphill and the straight downhill ones. But I've got a straight uphill putt here. You're going to run into those. Do I push it? I've been practicing the push stroke on right to left. Do I come inside and out? Do I open my blade? How about the cut across stroke? Do I close my blade? What's going to work here? Most golfers get over this putt, they get ready to roll, and their subconscious hasn't a clue about which one they're going to do. They may do a little looper just to see what happens. They may do a cut across with an open blade. I can't tell you how many golfers I've talked to that come to my schools and they say, DP, I can't make a straight putt to save my life. I think straight putts are the toughest in golf because I feel like I have to do something and there's nothing to do. I feel lost. Now, I've been showing you a lot of bad stuff. Everybody's under-reading, everybody's way off, everybody's doing everything wrong. Look, it's not that difficult. Once you've identified the problem, you can deal with it. I know that when you go out and start putting now, you've seen this video, you know you're under-reading putts. What you see is not what really exists. When you go to the golf course, I know you're going to see the break just like you've always seen it. On this putt, you know that you're going to see 25% of the real break. You're going to see about 8-10 inches here. When you go to the golf course, I want you to see that and then double it. I want you to imagine and tell yourself this putt really breaks twice what you initially believed. Now I know the real break is up here. When I sent golfers away from my school originally and told them to multiply their reads by 4, they all missed every putt high because their subconscious still doesn't believe they know how to read greens. It still pushes right to left putts. It still makes you pull left to right. When you leave having seen this video and go out to play golf, I want you to make more putts. So if you see a break of 10 inches, double it, tell yourself, commit to the 20-inch break, and then commit to making the straight stroke. So I want to show you the straight stroke drill. I've already set this up for the straight stroke drill. The aim lines, the 100% proper reality break lines are here. On a right to left putt, I know that most people, having been under reading for many, many years, are going to push their putts when they're right to left. So I have put a T just above the line. It's given me 1/4 of an inch so that the ball can roll exactly on the aim line and then break to the hole. Now I'm going to putt 3 putts using a straight stroke. It's the only stroke that will work in this drill from here, right to left. If I make them all, if I miss them all, I move. I then go putt 3 left to right and 3 straight. Let me show you what this looks like. Now that's a power stroke. The old touch is going to either make me push the ball and hit that tee, which I did not do, or drive it, because my subconscious doesn't trust my read. I'm telling my subconscious this is the right line. But once you get used to that and you hone in on the proper speed, you can make these putts. Now, I don't want to putt any more putts. I want to pick these balls up and putt left to right. But something important I want to remind you, don't step in your own line. Once you've rolled balls and you know the proper line, no footprints, because that might screw it up. Now, when you move the balls to a new putt, I'm now going left to right. You've got to make sure the ball is under the aim line. If you don't start your putts under the aim line, then you're creating angles that are the wrong break. You're going to groove compensations. It's going to screw everything up. This is the straight stroke drill. I want that ball on the aim line, and the only stroke that will make that putt is the perfect non-compensating stroke. Now, I've just made 4 out of 6 breaking putts, which is pretty good for me. A 2-footer right to left and a 1-footer left to right, and I've made all 4 putts. Actually, I've made all 6 strokes with a non-compensating straight stroke. The last part of this drill is to putt a straight putt with that same straight stroke. In all of history, every time golfers came to straight putts after practicing breaking putts, they were kind of screwed up. They had just been compensating, pulling and pushing. I haven't done any of that. These putts ought to be really easy. I've just been working on this non-compensating stroke. All I have to do is roll it up this line. Yes! It's easy. 9 consecutive straight strokes. Now, the real drill is this. If I was having a practice session where I was serious about my game, I would set up these aim lines like this. I would putt 3 putts right to left. Whether I make them or miss them, pick them up and putt 3 putts left to right. Whether I make them or miss them, putt 3 straight putts. Then go 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I want to sit down now and talk to you about what all this is going to mean for your game. You've seen a little scientific data. You've seen some real golfers. They've never seen what we were doing before. The truth is, every golfer until now has been under reading break. If you learn something from this tape, if you learn something from watching the True Roller roll putts, your game is going to get better. Better because you score lower. You can make more breaking putts, and you can make more straight putts. Now, intellectually, you know you're under reading putts. That's not the same as internalizing it. You've got to read a putt, multiply it by a factor of 2, and commit in your mind to reading twice as much break. Then stand there and try your best to make a non-compensating stroke. Try to use the straight stroke. Listen, it works. Steve Elkington believes it. He's aiming better than he's ever aimed before. He already is a great player. He's going to be even better.
Because I've proven it to other people when I get with amateurs and I aim their putter for them. And it's amazing, once you have the putter properly squared off and aiming correctly, it's so much easier to make the stroke. I mean, your brain kind of just lets it go.
Peter Jacobsen's already living proof. He's winning tournaments. He's putting better than he's ever putted before. And all Peter's doing is reading twice as much break and believing it.
Well, the one thing that I learned in working with you, Dave, is that you showed me the hard evidence. You showed me what was right and what was wrong. And I'm no dummy. I believe in what you told me. So I knew that if I hung in there and I kept doing what I was told to do, it was going to pay off. That way, all the guesswork was out of it. I picked my spot, I made my stroke, and the results were there.
It'll work for you. If you use it, if you stay with it, if you believe in it, and if you practice it, you're going to make more putts. If you do all that and it doesn't work for you, come to my short game school. I'll show you in person, and I'll help you make it work for you, because it does work. I promise you.
For information on the Dave Pelz Short Game School, call 1-800-833-7370. Hotel accommodations provided by the Boca Raton Resort and Club. For more information, call 1-800-327-0101.